My name is Dennis. I'm from Motorhome-World, and today we would like to do a brief demo of an automated BVM. I want to be very clear that we are not trying to create an ICU ventilator, but the idea of this is that it only works with air pressure. So we've got our air pressure plugged in from a compressor. It's our factory air, so it's not clean air or anything like that. The air is used just to drive the system. It doesn't go to the patient. Anything to the patient goes through the BVM. So the BVM itself, any BVM can be used. It's very adjustable in size. So only thing happens that goes in there and then it sits in. Then your valve goes on the end and that takes care of that. Obviously the BVM oxygen side is over here as well. Then the cylinder also is pressure sensitive, so you can set the pressure. If there's too much restriction, the stroke will come back automatically and then start again. We'll show you that as well. So to start off with, I'm just going to switch it on. The machine will start, and very easily you can see that's the stroke. It's working. So let's just do the volume first. Johan, I don't know if you want to show in here quickly. I don't know if you can see it clearly. So in here we have a little scale and a little pointer. So this entire cylinder can move backwards and forwards, which then means it determines how much the cylinder actually pushes the BVM in or out. So we can adjust that by volume. So at the moment we're anywhere between 240 and 400 mils. So as I turn that one to less, you'll see here, Jan, if you want to show in here, that you can see now we're moving it to 240 mils. So our chest lung, see, now we got to 400 mils. So you can see the entire bag is inflated. I'll ask Brian to change this to a 320 bag, so we can show that we can control the volume. There, that looks right, doesn't it? That looks quite nice. Yes. You can actually hear the overpressure valve kicking in there. There we go. That's a perfect about 320. I'm just going to take it down a little bit, but I think we're about there. All right, but you guys get the idea of the control of the volume itself. There's two settings here. It's the inspiration, so that's obviously, you can see the speed it's doing now. I can slow that all the way down by adjusting this little valve here. So it's going a lot slower. See how slow it's going now. So it shows you, but we can also obviously speed that up. And you can see the fine adjustment we can do on the inspiration-expiration ratio. See how much faster that's going now. That's the inspiration, and obviously it's the same with the expiration. So you see how fast it's going back now. So now we can slow that all the way down again till 0. So then you can get your ratios you wanted to, or I also want to show you the breath rate. So the breath rate here, we've got a little delay, a timer, a pressure timer. Now unfortunately a lot of these parts, or a lot of parts that people use, are going to be in very short supply. And one of those is the pressure timer. The pressure timer allows us to pause the cylinder at the when the expiration is done. We can pause the cylinder before it starts inspiration again. So that those timers are going to be in very short supply. So we've actually made our own. 2001, 2002, 2003, 2004. So that's about a 4-second delay that we have. which will equate, like I said, we got it down to 9 breaths a minute. That's how we got it. So if there are triage tents, or there's tents and field hospitals out there that don't have all the resources they need, the only thing you would need is the little air compressor and this machine and a battery for power supply, and you could again free up hands for somebody that needs it more. So that's how far the stroke goes at the moment. You can see, if I now stop it almost halfway this, see, so it retracts. It doesn't want to push all the way through. It doesn't need to go. It will stop halfway. If I let it go now, it goes all the way again. So there is some pressure sensitive on our pusher and on the cylinder itself. I hope that makes sense. Everything after this to the patient will be the pipe to supply the air, and then obviously the diverter. So there will be a diverter on here, which will then scavenge, I don't know how to pronounce it actually perfectly, scavenge the air out of the window, underneath the tent, get away with it, filter it. Obviously then you can have a PEEP valve on that as well, which will then allow a little bit of pressure on that side, as I've been told. But again, those are details that I am sure that medical experts will know. Our primary focus here at the moment was getting air to the patient. So the idea was, if we carry on with this, to mount this entire system in a simple off-the-shelf toolbox. Easy to carry. You can have consumables in it. We try to choose one with a little nooks and crannies, as I was told before by somebody, to sanitize it. But it's an easy toolbox. The BVM will actually fit in here as well, so you will have holes where we will stick the BVM and the valves out, and that everything actually what you see here will fit in the toolbox. And then you could have another toolbox, maybe another color, which will then house an air compressor and a little air tank.